like they weren't on the best version of themselves. So hopefully they've been saving that for us, Alan.
Oh yeah, hopefully. And certainly, although yesterday was a bit back and forth, they had their moments. Remix was great on some of the maps, and starting off on the CT side is a pretty big deal, but the double nades, oh, what a disastrous way to start this pistol round.
Yeah, not the best. That is the way it can be sometimes, though, of course. Ale does manage to back away. See what the game plan is here for the rest of the squad on that T side. Now that they've got a bit of control, they've still got this utility, of course, that clearly they've got ideas for. Or do they? Just going to touch in towards long. Skulls, good for one. A second, in fact. Nice steal on that second kill. Nonetheless, 3 versus 3 and an open A bomb site for the bomb plan.
Yeah, indeed. One of those frags. Great for Scully. Bomb site in the hands of the T side is Doc. Isolates a one-on-one. Leo decides to peek as well, and Doc... 2 for himself, 1-on-3 now for Turtle. He's trapped in the middle of the bomb site. Players coming from the long side. This should be an impossible clutch, and indeed it is with too many players around. So Skulls, for me, hero of that round, and a good retake as well in the end.
Yeah, definitely. I think holding and getting information and kind of going above and beyond. It's nice. I mean, you are a man down, but the general kind of logic, I suppose, is try and get at least 1 kill, guys. Set that as your low bar. And then anything above that, fantastic. But he knew as well that he kind of had to play for 2 players there. And it just all fell into place, despite the nice tactical ideas, I think, of the T side, right? The nade usage was pretty sound. I like the idea of eyeballing the smokes, as it were, rather than giving the game away from far away. So it all happens at once. But they just, well, didn't check their angles.
Yeah, perhaps, and also I think the after plant, you could see they were giving Doc, wasn't it, a few too many one-on-ones. Ale takes a tick of the flames. Good on the frag. Remix, USB in hand. He deals with him, and then of course Bravos this time around. They're not going to be force buying with the bomb plant in the last, so a little bit unusual actually. I haven't seen teams saving second round with a bomb plant for a long time, but they'll certainly have a very good buy in the next. So hopefully, you know, we got a nice gun round in store for us.
Ooh, that's a little cold, to say the least, Danico. It's always the easy ones, right? Always the ones that you overthink, but still kind of nasty to drop around like that. Smoke dissipates. The Deagles will overwhelm DRG. No armor for Jota, though. Oh, I was going to say it should be the find, but I think he legged him. Nonetheless, Remix will take out the final 2 players. Only losing the 1. All good. It was just an MP9. So here we go into, indeed, an early... particularly on that like Inferno, isn't it? You know, that can be kind of spooky, to be honest with you. I think even... regardless of the force buy, even going... regardless of the bomb plant, sorry, even going for the rifle buy in this 3rd round feels out of place on a map that requires so much utility mind game and double pumps and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, no opportunity here to buy into the AWP. So Remix, he's still got the scout in hand. 3 players on towards Banana for the ban. Looking to secure some of this map control. And you can see now with Banana, they can leave Ale. He's got some nice nades. 4 players now leaning on towards A and Bravos. They're still yet to take much map control, and now those nades for mid start to come in.
Well, we'll see then on this T side. Definitely going to be difficult. Doc is creeping forwards. Deadly angle. A little tight with the crosshair there, but each to their own. Meanwhile, oh goodness. DRG waiting for the flash to come in. Does well to get 1, to be honest with you. However, it's Doc from the backside, but fluffing it up slightly. Turtle, a few too many names. Just absolutely bloodthirsty. Finds one of his teammates. However, just a 4-man A play. And they're not ready for it. Danico in on the side. Oh my goodness. Somehow survives. And Skulls now his position going to be known. Danico not going to move, but kind of has... How's he still alive? What the hell is going on here? And they're just going to take the bomb. Go B. Wood 7. My guy has got a nice deep position here. Ale not quite catching the trajectory of that nade. No, definitely not as he gets taken down. Nice little mind game play. Turtle going to go down to the molly as he plants. Skulls will eventually find Danico. So somehow we're into a 1v1 that actually looks kind of doable. He is pretty far away, of course, but I mean, you could go for this. I think he's thinking about it, asking the boys, what do you reckon? And it looks like he's now been given the go-ahead to indeed charge in. doesn't take a genius to guess that he's probably holding towards new box. At the same time, you can't really take any chances here into this first rifle round. And with hardly any time left, he's actually going to take a hard chance that he's not a new box. Squad 7, the patience pays off. And the hero of that round for sure.
A little bit bizarre, that one, wasn't it? You saw how they had Banana, as you said, Len falling towards A. And it's always a little bit scary retaking mid. And what they did, you might not have noticed, is they only flashed short for the short player to swing, and then the long player swing out after. The flash didn't really catch any of those players on the long side, so they ended up kind of fighting 3v5 almost in towards brackets, and that's kind of the risk. And clearly, they knew they'd lost mid, they knew they had Banana, so it wasn't overly complicated to work out they're probably in towards mid. So that's one of those ones where you need to be really careful with, playing too hard for information. You always want to commit into you on that so don't give all those players. So it's a tricky one, but hopefully they learn from it. But this one is going to be such a heavy eco from Havan. Bravos potentially showing the guys that maybe ecoing after that pissed around loss and the bomb plant can be a reasonable idea. So 3 players still alive. They lost a couple, but Skulls, unless somebody walked into this taser, it's going to be 3 players alive.
Yeah, probably not going to happen, Chief. Unlucky for my guy in the apartments, but maybe next round. If he wants to go for it. Still all the same, Bravos pretty quickly on the board. The pistol a little bit panicked and unlucky, in a sense, right? But at the same time, not cleanly checking their angles. They kind of get what they deserve. Moving forwards into the rifles, though. This is, I think, kind of what we were worried about. A lot of strong individuals across the board. And a decent amount of depth so far. Only the one rifle that we've seen. So we'll see whether it continues to go that way. And definitely, as you're kind of mentioning, Havan, I think, played into their hands in that last rifle round. But we'll see here, of course, AWP coming out on the T side. Curious to see whether we see one over on that CT end. I do believe we do. Into the hands of Remix. So a little bit of an AWP v AWP battle hopefully going to go down.
As you mentioned, the previous gun round didn't quite go the way of Havan, but the good news was they're getting some information, and again, they're playing aggressively here for this banana control. One has gone down already, but DRG has made its way all the way up the tree. Jota's still playing in the cubby. Oh, this is going to be really awkward as this smoke here fades on the left-hand side. Ale gets another one for a spam. Remix goes down in mid. Pinoco's managed to lurk his way out towards long as Skulls is pushing short. This is all over the place, but Ale, it looks like he's going to be the player called upon. Jota's not moving aggressively for the moment. They seem to be kind of hesitating a little bit as they try to work out where they want to be ending on this round. And this is pretty bizarre, Squiv. They've kind of traded places in terms of CT and T at the moment.
Yeah, very strange indeed. I think that's what we call in the business a flurry of frags. This spot could be pretty large. It could also drop if Skulls checks it, because you got to bear in mind his crosshair is not on that right-hand side. He will indeed check it, but not quite convinced. Right, that's definitely a half-assed check. Ale, despite the crazy long-range heroics of the MP9 earlier on in the round, now finds himself alone. And without a chance, to be honest with you. Hardly any HP. Even surviving this round might be a bit tough. So, I think, yeah, Jota's thinking about it. Was sticking around now. Confirming the fact that he's there with that little spray down. Don't quite have as much money as they would like to fully hunt this, though. So, they'll let him get away with the M4. A little bit of a whoopsie here from Ale, because there is an AK drop down there, but whatever. Nonetheless, Bravos very quickly, don't want to say simply, because I think this round was a bit stressful for them. It looked good for the CT side in the beginning, to be honest. And a bit of luck on this side, right? Jota, you noted in the smoke, he just left the first corner that DRG started spraying into, but hadn't quite made it to the second corner that he swapped across, right? It's the fact that he was directly in the middle of the smoke that saved his life. So you can't really get too much luckier than that. And that was kind of the play that pulled it back in their favor. So we'll see moving forwards, but right now Bravos definitely creating their own luck.
Yeah, indeed. But on the other side of the coin, it is nice to see the Havan guys playing aggressive and not just sitting back and accepting that you're on their kind of opponent's map pick. We're going to play passive. See here again, peeking out on the pre-smoke. The problem is at this sort of level, everyone knows what that pre-smoke means. You're not going to get too many opportunities. And to even take Leo there down to 15 is already pretty fortunate. Now they're going to boost here. Sandbags. Ali there on the low HP. He's going to go down. Have recovered that M4, but nobody with body armor to wheel it. And Turtle here, he's turtling out and getting loads of space for his team.
Indeed. Looking good. Crept up. You can kind of feel the setup that they had there. Love this angle. Always fun. But not really going to be able to find anything. I think Turtle will come in behind and at the very least start to clear some angles, and process of elimination says they can only be in X and Y positions. The only real angles that he can't see coming in from construction. I mean, there's a smoke, which is never ideal, but it would be in at dark. But now they've been seen. So how do we approach? I think they're just going to let Turtle creep round, get the freebies with the
Oh, no.
Yeah. Easiest double of his career. Either way, Remix and Skulls, the players on the opposite side of the map. I mean, you might as well give it a go. Skulls really wants this Zeus kill. Really, really wants it. And every time they're on a hard eco where he can pull one out, they go to B. It's kind of annoying, guys.
Yeah, indeed. So hopefully by the end, somebody does come into the apartments so we can... Oh! That was scary. Of course, Leo's only on 15 HP as well, so the USP is truly deadly in this matchup. I did like the boost, to be honest. The problem with B on Inferno is that there's no headshot angles, really, to play. And, of course, you haven't got body armor. When you're up against AKs, you're just going to want to play a headshot angle. So they sort of made their own, didn't they, with the head stack? Nice idea, but the flank through from A. It's a little bit too much, and although that round doesn't matter all too much, it would have been nice to see some more economic damage because the T-side money is already starting to get a little bit scary in these early stages.
But it's something, I think it's a really nice, almost nuance from the Bravo side, right? Because think of this scenario, you have one M4 and then everybody else you would presume on an eco. Maybe you don't know that for sure, but you can kind of figure that out and weigh on that kind of theory pretty heavily. And instead of swinging in wildly, they just waited for that flank to come in. And I think that's something a little bit different than what we saw from the teams yesterday. Even in that scenario, you'd get the entry guys just re-peeking and trying to go for it. I've talked over this round a little bit. It was a lot faster than I expected it to be, but I don't know. I thought that was a nice point to highlight. But here we are. In a 4 versus 2 in favor of Havan, in fact. Bravo's playing a lot faster, walking straight into the AWPs. And since then, the advantage has really been against them. Definitely not impossible, though. They've got a player down towards pit, but the bomb is very late. 4 stacked at middle. Could be a bloodbath here. You can see a nice angle for Skulls to work with. A little bit of an off angle, you would say. However, not quite able to capitalize. Nade'll go in, and a couple of players do eat that. Getting that bomb down is still going to be a challenge, but I don't think this is impossible. I think there is certainly a chance. They're playing quite safe at mid. Long flank coming in from Ale with the AWP. And mollied out towards short. So an opportunity to get the bomb down and work around that. This suddenly got very interesting.
So many nades, though, for this CT side. They get put down properly. And now that they know a player's on towards pit, nades onto Turtle. He's going to have to play around this smoke. And he falls to one way. It doesn't look like it for the moment. Jota, he's playing around cold. Brazilian name squad. He finds the first and the second. Turtle does find a nice angle around that smoke.
No way.
Oh, that's a catastrophe. That was a catastrophe. And to be honest, when he was bringing the bomb up through the apartments, I thought there was no way he could get the bomb into the bomb site with the number of players into the apartments and short for the shooting side. I thought they just peaked once they knew the bomb was so isolated, and oh, that's a catastrophe. And there must have been a nice one-way angle as well around that smoke in towards pit. So much util there for Havan, just not putting it down correctly.
Yeah, glasses came off, heads went into hands after that one. I can't imagine how Havan will feel. That is a rough retake that looked, like you say, heavily in their advantage in a number of different moments within that round. Double nades at top. Banana going to find DRG. Doc does get a trade back in. They're just really looking for damage and perhaps a rifle to steal away into the next round, at least at the moment. But 4v4, Jota, I think, oversteps ever so slightly into the fire. Maybe a stray deagle shot. Didn't quite catch, but he's low. He's also walking in by himself. Doc doesn't know this information, though. Takes a couple of shots, not able to land anything just yet. The only one on B right now. Another shot does land, but eventually dealt with, as you would expect. 4 versus 3 coming in. So now it goes back to, okay, probably just damage here, guys. Maybe retrieve this AK if it's not being removed. It's not, but it is being watched. Again, by the low HP player. We're a little backwards on the setup here, guys. That smoke just covers the AK. Essentially makes it free for remix. Thanks very much, he says. And they'll back away. Some players have got, you know, the Kevlar, right? And the cheaper head armor into the next round, so they can be kind of happy with the way this went, actually.
Yeah, perhaps, but as we talked about a few rounds ago, it does start becoming an economic game here, and not finding 2, 3, maybe even 4 kills, to be honest, on a half buy can be a little bit disappointing, and to even get up to 5 rounds in this half will be really tricky for the Havan guys. So I do worry for them a little bit in terms of the mental game and staying composed, because that retake was truly a disaster when it came down to it. They had such an advantageous position even before the bomb got played. Bravos, going well for them, particularly in the late round so far. We've seen a few mistakes, but overall it's starting to be quite clear why they picked into Inferno here.
Looking pretty confident. It's definitely not one of their home maps, but maybe one at the moment that they're trying to work on against an opponent that they feel they can. You know? They have a pretty comfortable overpass. They have a pretty comfortable nuke and dust too. This is kind of a... arguably a third, probably their fourth preferred, map in the pool. So, they've been doing some work on it recently. I think it's one thing you've got to do when you're towards the top end of a scene or a particular level of Counter-Strike. You do have to remain fresh. Whoa, nice tag from Ale. It's a couple players now looking worse for wear. It goes into the logs position. Wood 7. Going to take out Ale on his 3rd repeak of the round, I would presume. Definitely not out of the question, though, for DRG to creep in behind and pull off something a little spectacular. For now, though, just chilling in and around the apartments.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be going for an apartments pop here, and Skulls is already playing into Apps in the corner. Finds the first, can't quite find the second. Actually, remix on the AWP. Oh, I thought he actually might get that shot. Doc, though, he's going to pick up the AWPers. So we do find ourselves in another afterplant on this A bomb site. A lot less nades in play this time around, so it'd be much harder to route the T side out of these angles. Got one player under the balcony, one player backside. A nice crossfire on towards short. And DRG, he's not going to be seeing this player backside. Denoka, he's not really facing. They find the player towards on the balcony. 1-on-1 now, Doc, around the bomb. On box, and that was a pivotal after plant when they've lost out in so many of these situations already.
Definitely looked a bit cleaner in the 2v2 than it did on the 4v2, that is for sure. I think in that 4v2 they just gave a bit too much room across. Confidence and aggression coming into this round. See what they do moving forward. So, of course, Bravos have got a decent amount of cash built up. They're cool. They're comfortable. Meanwhile, the Havan side, you know, just as, if not more important than the previous year. So they've got to be very, very careful with how they approach this round. The glass cannon AWP for remix, right? Lack of utility on a couple of players. You can see the damage that only surviving with one will do. Bravos, therefore, have got to abuse that fact.
Yep. Also here on Banana for Havan, they clearly want to take this control. Dog swings out on some nades. Jota's getting hammered by HEs here in towards tree. I'm surprised he's not dead already. And they decide, let's give it up. We've got a man advantage. Let's rotate over towards A. But this might be a mistake. Ale's the only player on B at the moment.
As you say that, though, of course, DRG will rotate back in. So, Bravos keeping the bomb at B. Are they going to try and wrap these two players? It's somewhat of a risk. However, Doc is maybe walking into them here. That's worked out beautifully for Danico. Still, this player sat in towards the CT area. Meanwhile, the bomb itself pushing in, trying to contact on B. Get away with it on one site. Think it's a bit cheeky to think you'll get away with it on two. Meanwhile, Wood 7 going to find Skulls overstepping. You know, it's a kind of confusing round from our perspective, let alone when you have less information to work with, right? The bomb appearing a little bit on B causes a push from A, and now they're going back to A with only 20 seconds left. Remix in the pit, set up for the first. No flash, no smoke for this balcony. Actually, it was a joke. There was a smoke, but they still sent a man in before putting the smoke down. They're not sure where Remix is coming from here, and he's just holding perfectly all by himself. In he comes with a big 3K. Been a little quiet so far in this game, but the glass cannon AWP pays off.
Yeah, indeed. It certainly was Remix, wasn't it? Who was the star of the show for the Havan guys in their series yesterday against Pagueta. So no surprises there to see him hitting some nice shots. And actually, yesterday, I don't remember him missing a shot.
Yeah.
Certainly his individual skills are up to the task. And in that round, it felt like Havan, as you kind of referenced during the mid-round, when they want to take information, it's just one player walking in at the moment. We need to see them working as a team, because the idea is good, looking for that information. We just need to see a little bit more of team play. But overall, their CT side hasn't been all too bad. 3 players on towards B, so clearly they really want to take this banana control once again.
Well, looking kind of good for the CT side, honestly. Uh-oh. Gotta be careful of these nades. Doesn't quite make it to Wood 7 in what some would call the Wood position. Usually just logs, but I have heard it be called Wood. Flash comes in, DRG. It's not really been dealt with. Doc will trade him out, but he's trapped. He's got to fight his way out. Doing a decent enough job. He's now the only one standing. The boys have sacrificed themselves to get Doc out of there. 3 versus 3 when the dust settles. Low HP bars across the board, but a few more for this Havan Liberty side.
One player only towards this A bomb site. He's towards front site. Is one here towards Cole. And actually, the T side, they've decided we're going to walk out towards long. We're going to wrap this A bomb site. 28 seconds remaining. They do need to speed up a little bit. Skulls, he's one of those low HP players as well. Haven's just kind of forced an off angle here. He's holding the jump up to Graveyard. He was holding the right spot at the right time. 2 on 2. AWP on the retake. This could be really tricky. I'm not sure what Doc can do here on such low HP.
It is worrying, isn't it? And they've got this angle out towards long as well that we're seeing come up quite a bit now, actually. This little sneaky one from Danico there. Remix going to have to be pre-aiming this angle and cannot miss. Unfortunately does. Doc will be focusing in towards site and pit. Can't look at both at the same time. And Danico, as we've touched on a few times, shoot out your eyes. So as soon as he peeks up, the bullets are coming. And 20 HP, right? What can you do? 7-4. Looking pretty good for Bravo. Still holding on to the lead. And they will force a weak buy out of this Havan Liberty side now. So looking to extend said lead.
Yeah, indeed. And certainly this first half, from an economic perspective, it's been a bit of a disaster from Havan, only able to string 2 rounds together, not able to pick up the first gun round after winning the pistol. So they've really struggled to find consistency here. When actually, for me, I think the early round, they've been pretty good. It's got that mid and late round that hasn't quite worked out. Doc, though, found a nice timing, got himself all the way down towards bench. Wood's holding a really tight angle, so perhaps if Doc wide, he might find a frag. So he's just sort of hanging tight for a moment. His turtle to his right. It was a nice idea, but couldn't quite connect.
Sometimes the thought is what counts, but in a game like Counter-Strike, I think you need a little more. You need to get the mechanics. You need to make sure the deagles are slapping. And they have a bit in this round, but not enough. Maybe LA can capitalize, but I don't think so. They're doing this thing again where the bomb sort of sticks around towards B. You know, the idea of dropping it in the like pivot point, I guess. You see that a lot on Inferno. Not really here. It might come back to bite Bravos in future if they lead a bit too aggressively with the bomb, and then it forces the hand of the rest of the team. But for now, yet to happen, I suppose.
Money, though, is starting to build up on the T side. Keeping 5 alive is really important for their money as well, because there has been a lot of close rounds here. So Havan, they're going to need to win a couple in a row, and of course they've struggled with that so far. Consistently, though, starting 3 players on towards B. Dog's going to push through on the flat. He gets toasted up. Remix can't connect. Oh, this is really, really sketchy here in towards Bananas. Denoco, he takes space. He knows there has to be numbers towards B. Bomb is starting to come over, and Ale, he's got to do some massive work here. And the most of the players is too much. Just drug remaining. DRG remaining. Not too much he can do here. A nice round from Bravos.
Yeah, pretty clean stuff, and it comes quite quickly, doesn't it? Not a lot that Havan can do to respond. Just keeps adding to what we're talking about. I think the thing is, though, for Havan, they have looked a little more put together, I will say, and slightly stronger. We've got a pause coming in as well. Did see a fair few of these from Havan in the past, in that past series. I think one of the things, though, you know, we're giving them a few good pointers here. We do have to bear in mind the T sides of both the teams yesterday, to be fair, but the T sides are where a lot of the shortcomings appeared for Havan. If they can't, therefore, give themselves a comfortable cushion, even a 9-6 might not be enough, but they have to absolutely aim for that. If they can't give themselves that cushion, I think they will have a very difficult time moving into the T side of Inferno. That probably of all the maps, the least friendly to playing it the way that they played every single T side yesterday.
Yeah, potentially. And the other aspect we need to factor in is that Havan, they did win the pistol round and convert the second round ecos. So 2 rounds essentially coming from the pistol round clearly paints a picture that the gun rounds have been far to the lesser of their opponents thus far. And potentially for me, it is nice to see the pause coming in for them to just relax, but maybe we would like to see that pause a little bit earlier, so something potentially to reflect upon. But irrespective, it's good to see them not fully investing now, not panicking. Let's play for 5 rounds and we'll sort it out on the T side. It is a T side in that Inferno, albeit very even. If they can take the pistol and a couple gun rounds, we're right back to an even game. So no need to panic yet, and just save now and play for the gun rounds in 1 round's time.
Yeah, it hurts a little, does put a lot of pressure onto that final round. But it has to be done. Slow moving here from Bravos. The B stat coming in. I'm always a fan when you're on the pistols. Why not? Because the risk is really not that high. And looks like it might be the right decision here, Alan. We've got a couple of players with armor. Split Eagles, and the first kill actually comes in for the P250. And they will go into the Lion's Den here. Kills getting traded, and there comes an untraded frag. Skulls is back up on the boost, runs out of ammo though, and will get taken down. Arguably, the amount of chaos does kind of play into the hands of your AKs, right? Who can just wildly spray. It's a little harder for Deagles and P250s to do that as easily. Yeah, we do know the damage that those pistols can do, of course, but left in an AK. So a couple in the beginning looked slightly panicky, but they kept it together and they will get the 10th.
Yeah, indeed. And obviously, as I mentioned a round ago, this is the round we're really thinking about. This is what they would have been discussing on the TAC timeout earlier on. So it looks like got double AWP in play here for the CT side. So they have decided we need to adapt. We need to punish the T side for playing so aggressive and facing quite a lot here. So the AWPs are out. We'll see where they choose to place them. One is going over towards B on Ale. Drops an A for the moment. He's going to play towards the sandbag's position. So no aggressive peeks just yet. And the other AWP, it looks like he's over towards a long.
Looks to be a B hit once again. The Molotov to push him back. Ale on the corner here, waiting for the peek to come in. Anico's got a flash. Love to see a bit of a touch and play move for Leo here. Just millimeters. Either player wanting to peek round. It looks as the bomb starts to come in. I was going to say maybe they will make a move, but looks like not. What one would assume to be a fake smoke, but then the bomb again sticking around. So we'll see. Ale creeps in. We'll find, I think, a leg sticking out there of Leo as he tried to walk around the corner. Of course, ended up failing. Skulls with a nice timing peek on a poor short smoke here. Not sure whose it is. I suppose it's a very good one if it's from the CT side, but why they'd want to smoke it, I don't know. Nonetheless, we're here in a 5-on-3.
Yeah, indeed, and actually the T side, they haven't been great with their utility in this round. 2 flashes remaining to get up and onto a bomb site. Jota here, he's just playing around that CT smoke. He's looking for a little bit of a gap, but unless they get overfaced and find some frags, it's so hard to see how the T's could find a way back into this one. Wood finds one, but 1-on-4 bomb on the B bomb site. Time's out. This is over. It's going to be 5 rounds for Havan. Not too great for them, but hopefully we see some stronger CS from them going into the second half after this quick break.
What's up? Welcome back to half number 2 of Havan Liberty. Up against Bravos Gaming, of course, here on Inferno, the pick of Bravos. So 10-5 at the turn of the half after the T side. Maybe a little bit of what we were expecting. This is where Havan needs to start proving themselves. Some tough losses in that first half. If they can bounce back, get the pistol here, maybe they can pull it out. But those individuals, man, it's going to be so hard to break down the brick wall of the CT side.
Yeah, indeed. And obviously, judged off what we saw yesterday, it was the CT side which is stronger for Havan. Jota is getting aggressive towards the balcony area. He's going to fall out. His teammates are hightailing it so quickly over to get numbers towards their bombs. So it looks like the app swap is going to be coming in. But with 4 players in defense, unless we see a lot of missed shots, this should be an almost unbeatable defense. So many frags going the way of Bravo. The team kill there in the mix is Skulls. Finds a 3K. Find ourselves in a 1-on-2. 1-on-1. 4 frags for Skulls. Oh, no. Oh, have you ever seen anything like it? Almost ace, and they really needed that one.
That's so unlucky. The team kill as well. Could have made all the difference. Absolute madness. I don't know if you caught it though, right? I guess not, because I feel like you probably would have said something. 3 players just sat in CT spawn.
Yeah, at the start, yeah.
Yeah, I think like, you know, the banana player wasn't mega aggressive. Obviously, the apps player there pushed all the way in and got all that information. Not sure if it was part of the plan or if they just weren't quite as ready as they thought they were to get back into it. I don't rightly know. Quick up middle here from Havan. Once again, it seems to be the name of the game over in South America to eco this second round, regardless of what happens. I've seen them find a kill. Potential for a few more, to be fair. Yeah, Skulls finds a second. Could have possibly found a third if he had a P250 or something along those lines. The player at balcony probably would have gone down. Nonetheless, 12-5 coming in, and now we've got the AKs out.
Yeah, dude, I think Skulls just enjoys the Glock too much, judged off the pistol round. And certainly, in terms of the CT pistol, it was definitely planned to play like that. Wait for the players on either side of the map to take information and then rotate accordingly. So I'm not necessarily sure it's the best way to play a pistol, but certainly an innovative approach, let's put it that way. So kind of a bonus round actually coming in here for Bravos. SMG's in play. 2 M4s in hand, no AWP. Havan have actually got much stronger weaponry on this occasion, but starting with 4 players towards B with Bravos, putting so many nades down here on towards Banana and Havan. They'll be running out of nades real soon. The mollies are going down, not coming towards the corner, and already falling foul to all these nades on Banana.
5-on-3 looking pretty decent here, of course. Do have a player out at brackets in the form of Skulls, who's been kind of nasty and continues to be nasty. Right on cue. Thank you very much. And then he's out of there. Let's go B. I'm feeling kind of frisky. So we'll see what happens here for Skulls, and the rest of the squad, of course, they're going to get smoked out. He's got a flash. He's also thinking of doing something kind of crazy. Danico on the quick rotation. Player up on the boost. Needs dealing with instantly. Oh, and he is. Brilliantly done from Doc. Free fire a little bit early, and Leo tried to flash through to get the trades. Now it's a 3-on-2 in favour of the T-side. Remix, though, panicking. He was that bomb carrier with the AWP. Really not the player that he wants to have it. Doc does retrieve it. However, taking a fight against this MP9. Low HP, up close and personal. That's what the MP9 is all about. All down to Skulls then. Knows where one is at. And will find Wood 7. Again, looking so clean aim-wise, but just not getting the support that he needs.
Yeah, indeed. I feel like we've seen a chaotic scenarios in these late rounds where players are just allowed to isolate so many one-on-ones. It certainly feels like they're getting too many opportunities. It is only at the end there where the Bravos guys cleaned it up and double-faced, and nice jump there on the MP9 to tilt me in terms of the jumping accuracy. But pistol was in hand for Havan. No chance of a force buy. They don't really have the money on that front. So, barring any issues, Bravo's a great opportunity now to get in touching distance of this first map.
Do or die for the pistols, it feels like a little bit. Remix will manage to find Wood 7. Turtle, though, staying alive in pit. Help from Danico out towards long. And it all looks good. Skulls is in towards the site. Let's get the plant in. They are a little giddy. I think there's a team flash in there as well. So they do have to be careful here. Remix is going for a reposition. Will get smoked out towards short. Nice little read there. They isolate the player in towards the site and just just stay on the bomb, right? Not a chance that he wins this round now. Might be able to get out, but no, not even that's going to happen. Turtle will drop him. In comes the 14th. As feared, the T side for Havan Liberty just not looking good straight out of the gate, and it needed to. It needed to look brilliant straight out of the gate. They do not have the room to warm up. So, we'll see. Still, map pick of Bravos kind of going as expected. More about Overpass, really, whether or not Bravos can give a strong run to the Havan side, or whether it's going to be similar to this.
Yeah, indeed. And the silver lining to that eco round, reasonable economic damage, and they did find the bomb plants. This buy will be good, and if they get the reset now onto the CT side, we could see a more competitive scoreline, at least having some sort of opportunity. Double nade on towards the corner. That's exactly what the doctor ordered, as abs aggression, as this is getting very aggressive on the CT side. Denoco, he's decided, I want to push, I want to get some information. Remix, he's posted up. Turtle, he's just going to play an off angle here on this B bomb site. So totally penned in now are the Havan players. Still plenty of nades in play. So as long as they do a good job with their nades and trade out Turtle, it should be a fairly simple round, but I feel like I've said that a few times already in this map alone. Turtle playing wider and wider angle. Remix, he peeks first. Nobody's been concentrated such low HP actually on these remaining players. Danoco, he's got a real chance here with these HP bars.
Yeah, definitely not impossible. The deep smoke comes in for him. I think he'll have a bit of time to cross through that. Yeah, just as this one dissipates. Gives his position away with the blind spraying. Bomb trap on that left-hand side. Gets ahead of it, but the double peak. Too deadly to deal with for Van Liberty. Looks set to stay alive a little while longer as they find their 6th round and the first of this T-side.
Yeah, indeed. I could barely keep up with the frags there on Banana. Everyone just seemed to be facing each other. Loads of nades going down, and ultimately Havan, they did indeed come out on top. So that's a fairly hefty reset on towards the CT side. Of course, we're seeing the force buy here coming in for the Bravos, guys. So far from an ideal buy, to put it lightly. FAMAS in play, forward Eagles, only 3 smokes on the CD side of Inferno. It's going to be a really tricky round, but Havan, best opportunity all game to really start establishing some good economy.
Let's pick up from Doc as the aggression comes through from the CT side. Not finding any success off the back of it. Not able to back up either because they went to a smoke. Okay. A risky move. The RG will catch him in the air, which is a bit nasty, but certainly, you know, we're seeing some of that lackadaisical nature. You just kind of, you drop off the boost and then rotate the safe way round. Maybe, sure, you don't get there as fast as you'd like, but you'd still be alive. Either way, B-bomb site's open. I think that'll be the round.
Yeah, it seems like Bravos, they're just going to save here. It'll be an eco again in the next, so there's no need to throw away these deagles. Just even looking for frags, you might as well save them into next and try and have another bite at the apple in terms of the force buy. So we're going to have to fill for 40 seconds as the bomb ticks on. But Havan, you know, it feels to me like there are a few rounds that first half. You remember the 4 and 2. There were a couple of other times they found the entry and didn't manage to close out the man advantage. Maybe the round where they pushed into mid as 4 players. You know, if they'd won those 2 rounds, we'd be looking at a really competitive game.
Yeah, it is true. It is true, man. Certainly strange that things hand out like this. There is that alternate timeline, right? And the game starts. Your community reference, you roll the dice. There's 6 timelines. I don't quite know.
Parallel universe.
Maybe it works off of maybe it works off of like how many servers we have, how many games we have going on. I don't know.
We have a server for every possibility.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the show Fringe?
I have not.
What I'm talking about? Well, if anybody listening has, you'll understand all of these parallel universes references, and I'm sure there's not enough servers. The possible realities in a Fringe-style CS game. So hopefully, we're not, unfortunate enough to get that reality in the real world.
But this is the one that we're in. This is the one we're going to have to deal with. Particularly Havan Liberty. as it's becoming a hard pill to swallow. Slightly less hard than a few rounds ago, of course.
Did the CTs just totally switch bomb sites?
I think so, for whatever reason.
They dumped their nades on B and then they swapped bomb sites, but I don't really understand why they just didn't start numbers B and
try and sell the fact that it's like stacked. I don't know.
No, I'm not sure. It's just like a solid 20 seconds where nobody was on either bomb site, so a little bit unusual, but it looks like Havan, they're taking this so slowly. And obviously yesterday, their T sides were a little bit weak, so maybe they've had a discussion and say, we need to calm down, particularly these anti-eco rounds, and just play much more together. It will certainly cost them here if they don't keep this one clean. So first frag goes their way, bombs towards A. It's really bad trying to find these AKs now from the CT side, I guess.
Okay, there you go. Decent stuff. They will take one, aka singular. Not able to save it, of course, but it doesn't really matter all that much, only losing one player on the T side. So... weird economic position, I guess, we find ourselves in. As you can see on the flyover here, a few deagles coming out, and then a FAMAS in there randomly. So I guess they're taking a half buy on top of a half buy.
Yeah, indeed, and certainly from the CT perspective, there's still no need to panic, is there, in terms of overly investing? You might as well, just take a bit of a half buy. If you do some damage, it's all good. But for now, you're playing fine. It's just been tough economically after losing that reset round, so not too bad. Apps drop, though, is going to be coming. Yeah, there is Dinoco here on towards balcony. It's a nice flash. He's going to force him back, but Turtle, he was looking the other direction. He was able to pivot. Dog finds one. Players coming in for the trades. Wood finds another, and now they're really trapped in towards the apartments. How are they going to get out of here? The EIG tries to swing with that front sight smoke. He gets dropped. And now both remaining in towards the apps. How can they even get out of this choke point? It's just Remix and Dinoco. She's bunny hopping. He's holding down the scroll wheel constantly there. So a bizarre round, and that was the one Havan needed to win. That's really disappointing, actually, to see them fall at that hurdle rather than to a gun round.
Yeah. Certainly going to be annoying. Feels like it seals the deal here as well. So certainly room for them to find a few more rounds, I guess. But the game itself, it does feel like we will be heading to overpass with a notch in favor of Bravos. Deep nades here does minimal damage, despite sounding like it exploded right behind Ali. That's kind of how they go sometimes. This one looks to do decent damage. What? Ooh. Where did that nade go? I mean, nice shot from Doc. I apologize. I was watching the nade. Landed, again, right next to DRG, 4 damage. So they've always been a bit funky, especially with, like, ledgers and steps and all that kind of stuff. Nonetheless, Havan Liberty, 5v4.
Yeah, indeed. And if you take a look at minimap whilst watching, you can see Bravos, they've decided, let's just 4-stack the A bomb site. It's going to look a little bit silly if indeed Havan end on towards B, but it's a really great call, actually. You're on match point. There's no point trying to string out rounds for economic damage. Just stack, save those numbers, and play again in the next. So Havan, hopefully they realise what's up and just execute in soon enough. Nades are starting to come out. Going to obviously be a simple affair as they come on towards the bomb site. So it's going to be 9, unless Bravos pull off a miraculous retake, but they should already be saving. So already getting to a reasonably close scoreline, but still 6 in a row to get to overtime. Seems unlikely based on what we saw yesterday.
A few shots ringing off here. They might go for a little bit of a hunt. Could maybe send 1 or 2 players. So we'll see. Yeah, it looks like they're not even going to commit too hard to that. So it will probably be the 4-man save. Wood 7's a little close to the action here. Takes a member down with him. I guess it's nice for the stats. And I suppose when you're on your run back and everything, it is a nice feeling to get the rounds flawlessly. But the 1 kill ultimately will not do an awful lot. Especially on that AUT where you're only getting $100. However, they've not fully demolish the economy as soon as it starts to get back on track, right? Bravos will be back in with a pretty comfortable buy, and Havan have to repeat the success of the previous round.
Yeah, indeed. And that loss bonus on the CT side, of course, is only going to get higher and higher. And the frequency of the buys will continue relentlessly to a point where if they're saving 2 guns over, it's going to be a buy again in the next. So, Havan, 6 in a row. Play it 1 round at a time. Boost coming out from Jota on that secondary ult. First time we're seeing this on the CT side, so a little bit of an adjustment. He just misses the shot. He gets the clip through the wall, I think, on towards Remix. Some nice damage. Bit of a tag with the nade as well, but ultimately, Banana Control ceded to the terrorist side.
Well, smokes over the top. Not quite close enough to the corner here, though. So Jota's actually got a pretty good angle to work with, you know. Flash will come in. Ineffective. Can't find the frag, though. Nonetheless, they'll keep them at bay. What do we do here through the smoke? That's kind of risky, guys. And they tried it, it looked like, but flashed while in the smoke and therefore going to move back. Big damage coming in. No kills as yet, though.
No, only 1 smoke remaining, though, on this T side. That's on towards Doc. He's hanging around on Banana for the moment, so it looks like they kind of forced into committing Banana here. 40 seconds remaining, 3 players stacked up for the CT side. They seem pretty certain of what is up. Wood is going to get smoked off, but after showing his ult, they won't expect a second on the bomb site, and Jota, he finds one. Molly goes down. Only Ale managed to get out in front of it. He's going to jump around first oranges. This is going to be so tough. Leo playing around triple. Leo finds one. Jota's getting, but he still finds a second. And oh no, it's falling apart. Remix remaining. This is completely impossible. 1 versus 5.
Yeah, not going to happen. That indeed will be that for the first map. 16-9 in favor of Bravos. We'll see if Havan can run it back on map number 2. We'll be